A Secret Service disaster. Before she resigned this week on Capitol Hill, the director of the United States Secret Service admitted the agency's response during the attempted assassination of former President Trump was a breakdown and a colossal failure. Trump's White House doctor said a bullet from the shooter's rifle came within 1/4 of an inch of killing the former president. Joining us with more to explain about the Secret Service failures and the testimony of former Director Kim Cheatle is Keith Hanson. He's Director of Law Enforcement Training at Critical Dynamics. Mr. Hanson is also Chief Operations Officer at Right America Media. What kind of replacement do we need for Cheatle? She was caught up in the whole DEI thing and didn't have a lot of experience with the Secret Service prior. I guess she worked for Pepsi prior to that.
Well, she was a Secret Service an agent. She was assigned to Joe Biden's detail. So she did have some Secret Service experience. Then she went to Pepsi and she was protecting the Cheetos. And then she went on to be director of the Secret Service. It should be somebody who's been in that organization for the majority of their career, who's had the opportunity to work in a variety of different capacities, maybe in an investigative sense, then maybe in an undercover sense, then maybe in a plainclothes executive protection sense. But somebody who knows that organization inside and out, that has a jacket that is filled with commendations and merit-based recognitions for the things that they've done within that organization. Leaders can't sit back and tell somebody. And in my perspective, a good leader is not somebody who says, you go do this and you go do that. A good leader is somebody who says, let me show you, let me guide you. I will lead the way. You will be a warrior forged in my image. That's what a leader in an organization like the Secret Service would be. And Kim Cheatle is not in a position to be able to do that. Thank God she had the presence of mind to resign, because completely, wholly, and totally inadequate in that role. And she's going to get somebody else killed if she were allowed to stay in that position for any length of time beyond right now.
How could a person seen with a gun on a roof 130 yards away from Trump be deemed a person of interest but not a threat to the former president?
I think you're asking the same question that a lot of people are asking, to be honest. Listen, these are multiple failures that have stacked up, one on top of another. And when you look at failures, and I'm using that in the plural, fail so miserably by accident. It's one of those that, when you look at it, this asks a lot of questions, and this is what tills that fertile ground where the conspiracy theories grow so rampantly. It is systemic failure across the board.
Well, and then when you're not forthcoming, Cheatle on Monday was evasive during that House hearing before she resigned Tuesday. She didn't answer the question posed by Congressman Jim Jordan, who wanted to know how many times the Secret Service denied Trump additional agent assets. So what difference, in your opinion, would another, say, 4 or 6 agents have made in this assassination attempt, especially when you have a crowd of more than 20,000 people in attendance?
Well, numbers don't mean anything. What matters is the quality of the training, the quality of the what we refer to as high fidelity simulation training. Listen, you can go through all of the range training that you want to, the drawing from your holster and getting a shot off on target, but in a contextual context, that's not relevant. The qualifications that most police officers or federal agents are required to do in order to meet the minimum administrative standards to carry a firearm are not contextually relevant to situations that an officer or an agent would find themselves if they were involved in an officer-involved shooting in a real-world engagement. So it's the quality of the training, the amount of high-fidelity simulation training that these officers or agents would go through, and then their core competencies. And listen, the bottom line is that there are 3 ways that people are going to react to an extremely stressful situation or a high cognitive load. And it's the classic fight, flight, or freeze situation. Some people are absolutely going to freeze. That's the deer in the headlights look, as their brain is trying to process information that's coming at them very rapidly. Other people, they're going to follow their instinct to survive. They're simply going to turn and run away, take whatever evasive action that they can. But then the true professionals are the ones that are going to fall back on their training because they've been there before, not in the literal sense, but in the figurative sense. They've trained for this. They understand what to do because they've been in situations that are very similar. And in an organization like the Secret Service, where especially those level agents are training and preparing to do one thing and one thing only, and that is to protect a high value asset. So, from that perspective, the training that they receive, that high fidelity simulation training, should most closely replicate the types of situations or the likely scenarios that those agents or officers are going to find themselves in. And clearly, that is not the level of training that those individuals have been adequately exposed to.
Okay, we'll see who's named to replace her, and we'll see what's revealed about that assassination attempt in the days ahead. Keith Hanson of Critical Dynamics, thanks for being with us. We appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you.